What's good, y'all? It's your brother God Science up in here once again. Shout out, special salute to the few that do watch the videos, subscribe, leave your comments, and I act with a brother. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to everybody. Wishing everybody prosperity, success in whatever you're doing. Anyway, Country Black, boy, he's on here crashing out. And the reason why I made a video about this, because that's one of my favorite groups, man. 3-6 Mafia. And I always had it in the back of my mind, just hoping that a reunion would come out. I mean, a real reunion. Now, I like the Mafia 6, but it wasn't the same without Juicy J. Juicy J is one of my favorite. Juicy J and Country Black was one of my favorite, members. Juicy J, I think lyrically, he was superior. Of course, production rise. These dudes, it was like ahead of their time. Funny story how I even got to know who the hell 3-6 Mafia was. Now, my brother, rest in peace to my brother, Supreme Jamal, my closest brother, man. He put me on to 3-6, and he was a big hip hop head just like myself. We were real alike, man. I don't know if y'all have siblings, but sometimes it's just one sibling you're just close to. You understand him, he understands you. And that's how my brother was, man. But anyway, he was getting into some stuff up in New York, right? He was getting into all kinds of stuff. So my mom sent him off to Job Corps. So he went to Job Corps in Kentucky. And while he was down there, I used to call him, he used to call me, and he called me a month or two after he was down there. He keep telling me about this group called 3-6 Mafia. Now at that time, that's around 97, 98, I think, around that time. I'm into Wu-Tang, I'm Wu-Tanged out, because I think that's when they had just dropped their double CD, which I wasn't, looking back now, it grew on me, but it was too much songs and stuff or whatever. That's a whole different video. But anyway, I was in Def Squad out, Wu-Tang out, just into my groups. And I never heard of 3-6 Mafia. And this dude, he's just telling me, yo, these dudes is ill and and he's telling me about, because down there they had furloughs. I guess certain times they'll let them go into the city, so they'll go into he met some people out there, and he'll go into Tennessee, he'll go down to Memphis and stuff. So he's telling me, they bang out here, and I didn't even know they had gangs out there, but he's like, yo, they really bang out here, they really do bang out there. And he's telling me, man, that's all they playing is this 3-6 Mafia thing. So I'm just laughing. I ain't paying him no mind. So he eventually comes back, and he's on that 3-6 Mafia, and I'm just laughing at him, me being ignorant. I'm not listening. I didn't even want to listen. I'm just like, man, 3-6 Mafia. I don't know who the hell they are. He's telling me they worship he thinks they worship the devil. Now. They had that dark sound, they used that dark, horrorcore type sound. But I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I'm into my Wu-Tang and stuff. So one day, he went out, and I took the tape, chapter 2, World Domination. So I took the tape, and I listened to it. So I listened to it 2 times from beginning to end. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, yo, these dudes is ill. They got their own style. Lord Infamous, yo, Scarecrow, salute, rest in peace to Lord Infamous the Great, man. he was rhyming like he was like on a whole different level, and these dudes was talking about snorting cocaine, and they was just on some next, but there was some real shit. But the beats, you know what I mean, the production was tight, and they had their own sound. You know, I always said, like, you know, sorry about that. We in this trap era. 3 6 Mafia had a lot of the elements back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 90s. Or if you go and search their music, a lot of the elements that you hear now in hip hop, not everything, but a lot, came from 3 6 Mafia. They were really ahead of their time, and they had their own sound. And for an independent group, they were blowing up. And when I heard that album, I was a hypnotized mind head, man. I'm like, I started going back, Mystic Styles, anything that dropped out of Hypnotic Camp, I was on it. Fraser Boy to the Choices movies, then Juicy J and them, they would drop they you know, they solos. After the Smoke Clears, that's a classic. I put that up there with like one of the greatest hip hop albums, all the greatest hip hop albums. After the Smoke Clears, that it's up there with, you know, that whole album is a banger. You even gotta skip a track. So my brother put me on to you know, and I put a lot of brothers on up there. So we was don't get it twisted. A lot of people feel like, you know, up north, and the radio stations and you know, a lot of these dudes, they were hating on the South. But you know, I used to always come to Florida because my grandmother was down here. You know what I'm saying? So in the summertime, I'll be down here, and then I'll go back up New York. So not everybody was hating on the South. A lot of people was on that 3-6, man, up there, because it was like a whole different sound. And then there was this dark type element they had to it, which was dope. Now, I've heard Country Black talk on certain interviews about him meeting the devil and all that stuff. I don't know, but it's just sad to see that, you know, he's coming out and it's like he's not able to get paid. I just recently read DJ Paul response, and salute to DJ Paul. These dudes is legends, man. You know what I mean? They won Oscars. They deserved it. I wish, you know, DJ Paul both of them on their own. DJ Paul and Juicy J are great producers, but when they come together, they create classics, man. You know, and they always had that real hip hop element, I noticed, in their music. You know what I mean? They had the samples, they had the scratching, they would put, you know, so you can tell that they were students of hip hop. You know what I mean? They just created, they put their own flavor to it. And the slang, you know, I got used to that Memphis slang that they had, you know, which was dope because it was totally different from up north, you know, but that became one of my favorite groups, you know what I mean? And the last standing, I think that was the last album they put out, and I just wondered what happened. You know what I'm saying? They didn't officially never came out and said that they broke up. Juicy J went on, you know, his first solo album is a classic to me. Stay Trippy. That's a classic to me. And he been doing this thing. DJ Paul, you know, the Master Evil, that album was dope. You know, anything that DJ Paul put out is dope, man. So I still be following these brothers, but I always wish that all of them would come back together, which is probably a pipe dream, like wishing that Outkast is gonna come. Well, I never say never. But, you know, I'm watching these interviews with Country, and it's not funny, but the way how Country Black is like a real dude. He wasn't the most lyrical in the group, but he was, you can tell he was authentic. You could tell like this dude was from the hood. You know what I mean? And especially when he used to do these dances, and it was dope. It was all dope, you know. So I'm a fan of all of them. You know what I'm saying? A fan of all of them. Rest in peace to Gangsta Boo, man. dope MC. She's not even mentioned when it comes to hip hop, like female hip hop artists. She needs to be up there with the MC Lights, the Queen Latifahs, because she was dope like that. Inquiring Minds. I remember when I bought that I told y'all I was on that hip hop mind. Anything they drop, I'm like, yo, Juicy J and Paul, they produce that shit, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just rattle in my trunk, you know. But dope music they put out, you know what I'm saying? Definitely big contributions to hip hop, and it's just sad to see that, you know, it's like only 2 of them left, you know. But I like I said, I read DJ Paul response, and he has a little point. Now I'm not there. I don't personally know any of these brothers. I never met them, unfortunately. I always wanted to be like one of them because I was such a big fan of them. But it kind of, when it comes to the streaming, this streaming stuff is like really killing these artists. You know what I'm saying? So he did post that up, you know what I mean? And like, you know, streaming, you got to get like 1 million streams to get a decent amount of money. And who's doing those type of streamings other than Kendrick and Drake and these people like that these days? But, you know, it's constantly something with money. And you also, the funny thing about it, he was like, first he's saying it's him, then he's saying they. He's like, man, that dude ain't go best with you. And I think he's talking about, of course he's talking about Juicy J. Like, I guess Country Black is leaving it open up a little bit, but I don't know, man. You know, I don't know what's, you know, Country Black is a real dude, you know what I'm saying? I just wish like they can all, you know, come together just one more time and just give us an album. But it wouldn't even be the same because majority of everybody gone, you know what I mean? If when Lord Infamous left after the Unbreakables, it just wasn't the same. Even though The Most Known Unknown is a dope album, that's another classic right there. I still play that to this day. The Unbreakables, that album was dope too. That's when I think their production was like, you just heard it just went up, like crisp. Every snare that they just got better and better and better and better every time they put out a project. And that was the last project that Lord Infamous was on as a 3-6 Mafia, and definitely a classic. But at least we got those old albums that we can always go back to and listen. And that's the beauty of music, man. Same thing with like Outkast. Everybody talks about, you know, I want a reunion, but until then, I'm still playing Aquemini, which I think is one of the greatest albums ever made, beginning to end, no skipping. If you say you scared, one of the illest posse cuts ever. Cujo from Goody Mob just tore that up. Dope. Big Boy tore everybody that was on that song killed it. But yeah, man. Country, I hope you get your money. And Country is going off, man. But you know, it is what it is, man. Like I said, man, it's just funny, man, that you know, it's not funny, but the way how you know, Country Black is, he makes it funny. You know, it ain't funny if nobody, you know, somebody's holding them money. But yeah, I try to look at it at both sides, you know what I'm saying? And you know, DJ Paul said, you know what I'm saying, you know, the Mafia 6, at that time when it did come out, there wasn't physical CDs. It wasn't like back in the days, you know. That's why a lot of people laugh at me because I got a CD player. This is a 2017, which I got, you know, it was like 20,000 miles on this Volvo, but it had a CD player in it, and I think this is the last models. And certain albums, I'll still get the CD, and people will laugh at me about it. But I just miss that era, man, of having something tangible in your hands, where you gotta go on Apple Music, and you don't even own any of it. You just gotta keep paying these subscriptions. It's not the same as collecting CDs, but you know, what you gonna do, man? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you've been this far, what you think? Do you think Country Black you know, spend this money wrong? Do you think you just owed him, or you just wish that, you know, they both would just, you know, come together and just, you know, because I hate to see brothers argue, man. And, you know, this is one of the illest groups in hip-hop history, 3-6 Mafia. If you, you know, don't feel like that, you know, like I said, music is subjective. To me, it's not even a question. But y'all stay safe out there and stay up. Peace.